Oh my goodness. Thank you for clicking on this video. But I don't know about you. This has been the craziest bad day in crypto. I've got people in my Telegram group going, "Hey guys, are you checking out what's going on in the crypto market? Today looks really, really bad." It's like, yeah, it does. So what I thought I'd do is bring on Crypto Mike. This guy has been in the markets for a long time. I want to ask his perspective. What the heck's going on? We're going to talk about drip. We're going to talk about EMP because he's one of the top leaders in EMP. And then we're going to look at the animal farm, talk about what's going on with that. So Crypto Mike, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad to have you here, man. Tell
What's
me,
up,
how
brother?
are you doing? How are you dealing with this? Like, do you want to jump off a cliff somewhere?
In sort of, man. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
let's do it together, bro.
yeah,
Let's
we're all
find
in
a
this
cliff.
together, right? Yeah, we're all in this together, man. So just trying to hold it together. I've been through this before. Luckily, I have stable plays that are paying me still, so I'm not feeling it as bad as a lot of people out there. But yeah,
Yeah, you're big in on what, stable coin farming? Is that the words?
it's called delta neutral, but yeah, it's not just stable coins. It's where it doesn't really matter what the price of Bitcoin or any of these coins do. I'm just earning an APY.
Yeah, you like playing in the stable coins because you don't want, like, would you say majority of your portfolio is in crazy DeFi plays, or is it in stable coins? Where are you at? Where's your portfolio allocated right now?
I have about 20% allocated to higher risk
Okay.
projects. And the rest of it since November, I used to be flip flop. It used to be about 70% in the higher risk projects. And I did really well with those, but then I switched once we had a weekly bearish divergence on the weekly candle in Bitcoin. I knew, okay, you know what, this it's going down. I mean, it's going to happen. And we've seen that. So I just kind of diversified more into stables.
Man, that's something I need to do more for my own portfolio. Full transparency is I need to get into you know into more stable coin plays and not just play every little protocol. Obviously, we all do gamble plays like these miners and stuff like that. Some of them have done really, really well for me. I've been in baked beans, cooked rice, you name it. The Grinch one, like I made money, but that's long term. These are not like sustainable ways to make money in crypto. And so days like today, as a holder of, I mean, I own a ton of Bitcoin, a ton of Ethereum. Today's like I'm down like, almost multiple six figures. I think 150,000 is how I ended today, just my overall portfolio. And it just
Yeah.
sucks. But my big babies, as you guys know, is drip and then EMP, piston. So Mike, you are way bigger whale than I am in drip. um Tell me about like what you're doing. What are you feeling sentiment wise with drip? Is now the time to get out? Should we be selling? Should we be buying more? What are your thoughts?
Oh man, with drip. It's a tough one, man, because you have a protocol that's lasted over a year, paying 1% a day. So perspective will tell you that that is an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah, I
In
don't
the
think
world.
that's brought up that much, but that
Uh,
is true statement. Drip is over a year old, and what else can you point to that's been paying you 1% for a year?
Nothing. There's nothing. And that says something about the protocol, whether you like what's going on right now or not. But a lot of what's happening, I think, in that community isn't Drip's fault. Drip is a project and it is under the same developer as Animal Farm, which isn't going too great as far as the launch. And we've had multiple hiccups, of course. I've been pretty transparent to my community about, how I felt about pigs. I had sold all my pigs. I had hundreds of thousands of dollars in pigs, and I sold them around 300 and something dollars because I just could see what was happening in the FUD that was happening in the community. And I sold little bits at a time. I didn't create any dagger in the chart. I'm always a fan of not doing that, but I guess you can't get around the fact that people are angry. And what are you going to do when that happens? You have to address them and not take time off. And what happened was the opposite, right? Their concerns just didn't get addressed. And so you had this underbellying of just nervousness and so yeah, it didn't. So drip to answer your question, I think actually right now is a moment where we want to just kind of pause and say, and kind of take a step back from possibly exposing ourselves too much, to any one project. But I would also say to those that are a little bit more risk tolerance, I think that if we could hold like some of the summer lows that we had last year, this could be a good buying opportunity for drip if it has for drip, okay, in particular, not Animal Farm, but if it has some bullish news coming up, it could send it higher, much higher, than,
Mhm.
I mean, we're seeing like a low that we didn't ever expect to see. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, my overall thoughts are like short term, this thing could trade a lot lower. But if you're bullish on some of these new utilities for drip, like the scratch off tickets, like possible partnerships with Pancake Swap, possible
Right.
peer-to-peer lending, which Forex has talked about, then that stuff's going to happen near the end of 2022. So if you're willing to ride the wave and click compound, compound, compound until the end of 2022, you might be rewarded. There's in my opinion, a greater than 50% chance. But at the same time, if you feel like none of those things are going to happen, it's just all going to pan out, nobody's going to invest anymore in drip, well, then you're going to see further sell pressure. So you and I can't predict the future, no matter how aware we are of what's going on in drip in the community, because people are going to do what they're going to do. But I've been asking myself, I was asking myself this in the drive-through today. All right. I was like, is now the time to sell drip? Is now the time? Like, why did you wait till now to sell? And I'm like, no, now with all
Makes
these
no
brand new
sense.
things coming up, like, I don't think now's the time. It would have been like at the fiasco of the Animal Farm. Like maybe then I'd be like, oh, this is crazy. But now I'm like, no, we haven't even all the utilities coming. So for me, I've just been hydrating because I don't want to sell at $20 or 18 or 19. And we have an overall sentiment in crypto that's just negative, bear market. I mean, I read this today that the cheapest time to buy Bitcoin over the past year was today. I mean, that's crazy. So that's my thoughts on drip. But I also think if you need a little bit of profits, you got to make something to get your initial deposit back. Hey, hedge your bet, take that money and then go reinvest it maybe in Bitcoin. Who knows? I'm not here to tell people what to do with their money. We're just having an honest conversation. So, it is what it is.
I think I think you could be looking back, right? 4 or 5, even 6 months from now.
Yeah.
You could have been wishing that you did buy this moment, not even in just Bitcoin, but drip as well and other altcoins. But I can't sit here and really say that it's a safe move to go invest your money into altcoins right now. It's just not. It hasn't been.
Right.
However, I can tell you that here are the coins that are my favorite and the teams that I believe in. And I still believe in the drip team. I still believe in the EMP team. There's a lot of coins that I believe in. These are the top 2 that you mentioned. So
yeah. I want to talk.
Yeah.
I want to finish your thought. I do want to.
That's it. I mean, EMP, you want to talk about EMP?
Yeah, let's talk about EMP. What the heck's going on, bro?
The
Price
same
drop
thing
today.
is going on today. Yeah, right. So
I thought this thing was immune from the whole crypto market.
Right. This is like the emotional side of investors, right? Because you get emotional because you don't think that anything can happen. Especially we've got a lot of new people in EMP. They've never seen it below peg. Just in the last 30 days, Jonathan, we've brought on so many new people to this type of protocol. And now today, the boardroom stopped printing because we're below peg, right? And so they're freaking out. They don't understand this. And it's like, look, this is what an algo project is designed to do.
Mhm.
It's not designed to be sustainable and print at 2000% in the boardroom every day forever. And that's just not realistic. Just like drip is not realistic to think that you're going to onboard 2,000 people a day, because that's what it takes
Forever. Yeah.
forever. You're going to have those moments of just breathing.
Well, and I don't want to get back to drip, but I do think you have to ask yourself, well, what drives new capital to come into drip? It's going to be utility. It's going to be new use cases for the coin. And you want to get in early before those use cases come out. Well, those use cases aren't here yet. They're just talk. And Forex has talked about it, talk, but there's no delivery. And so, of course, people right now are going, man, I've heard someone talk about this forever. I ain't seeing action. I'm out. it is
Yeah.
what it is. I tend to believe some of these things do take time, and I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to hedge my bet and say, I think Forex has got a lot of things coming. Partnerships are on their way. But I mean, that this isn't to excuse the mess of communications that we see on their part. I mean, that's just the
Right.
reality. Anyone that wants to say no communications has been great and all that, like, you're not being honest. You're saying don't fudge your own bags. And I don't subscribe to any of that. I think it's okay to be honest. The only one that causes FUD are people that miss delivery dates. People that
Yeah.
say one thing and don't do it. That is the person you
I
should blame
think,
for FUD.
yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said about like just you know making sure things happen though, Jonathan. And I swing both ways, right? In the sense of I can see where you're coming from, and I'm like, okay, don't say it if it isn't done, right? But then the other
Yeah.
thing is like things happen. I've seen things happen in my personal project with EMP with a great team, and I know what happened, and like nobody could have predicted it. And so I give a lot of wiggle room, especially to these new, you're talking about never done before in DeFi type of project. Cute dog, by the way. Uh, love the dog.
He's co-host of the
Tex.
channel.
Yeah,
Tex.
Tex is amazing. But like, don't kick a man while he's down. Let this thing right out, man. Be a supporter and don't kick a man
Yeah, but
while he's down because
I don't think people are trying to kick him when he's down. I think they're saying, please stop saying one thing and not following through with it.
right. And I think that this is what I'm trying to say. I know where you're coming from and I feel the pain, right? But at the same time, there's just certain things that I know you can't predict. So it's like, do I think that it was professional? No, I don't think it was professional. I think it came across very unprofessional. It came
Yeah.
across like you don't know how to deal with smart money. Does Elon push back the date of a car releasing? No, he does, but he gives months notice. He gives it, plenty of time. So like these things, you kind of know those things in the manufacturing world. What I'm saying is in the world of crypto where like, things happen in a protocol that's never been designed before, dude, you got to give it a little bit more slack. People got to relax a little bit. We have been in a bear market since November. This
Yeah.
is like everybody knows. I think it's unprofessional for people to not do their research a little bit and know that we're in a bear market. It's everywhere. Do you really think we're in a bull market? No, we haven't been. It's everywhere. Like the bull support band, we've been below it for months. So knowing that we're in a bear market, and so what are you doing with your portfolio? How are you reacting to that? Are you going and investing capital that you can't afford to lose into risky protocols? Because that's not my fault. That's not Forex's
No.
fault. That's your fault.
To be fair,
Yeah,
I
not
want to
you,
give
but
voice
what
to
I mean.
the animal farm community and say, yeah, but we don't have access to our capital. Right. So,
Understood.
that's
Yeah.
something they didn't
Yeah, I
sign
get
up
that.
for. That's
Right.
not DeFi. That goes against the principles of DeFi. Regardless, either way, I do think Forex is getting the hint because I just see he released a statement today. He says, I will never again set a countdown and then not go live when the countdown hits 0. Love that, which is why I'm being extremely diligent. Oh, did we lose you, Mike? Your video's off.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You'll get it back on here. I'll finish this. It says the migration went perfect. The results are better than we could have imagined. Once everyone got a chance to see how much more value everyone is getting, he is really hyping this launch up. And I just hope he delivers on the animal farm when we do go live, because the credibility of Forex matters as it pertains to drip. And if you're in drip, you really, really are rooting for a successful animal farm launch. We all want that, So, but for you,
I've been in drip
you
since
got
the early
out. Yeah,
days,
but you
man.
got out on pigs, bro. You got out at the top. I mean, I'm kind of jealous. Like, I got to admit, you got out of pigs when it was all-time high.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I honestly kind of like felt bad about it, right? Because I was like, I'm selling and I've taught. But I
don't
told
feel bad for
everybody
making a good decision, right? Like, you did what you needed to do for your own portfolio. Everybody else is acting the same way. So,
dude, it's like, what I've seen incredible projects get wrecked because of community.
yeah.
And the community at that time, there were just so much FUD. I couldn't imagine at least a week. In my head, I thought, okay, I'm going to buy this back in a week. And things just got worse and worse and worse. So I didn't buy back. But like, I was really thinking like, I'm going to swing trade this a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a really good deal because I thought I was getting way more than what I got. I think everyone kind of felt that way, right?
Yeah, you
Because
were
I got
planning
in
on
on the
just buying back
pre-sale.
in. So let me
Yeah,
ask you, are you going to buy back in at launch?
this is like you're putting me on the spot.
I know, but that's what we do on this channel. You can be
No, I'm
real.
not.
You're not.
No, I'm not, because I rode that wave. I'm done with that for right now. For me personally, I know a lot of people in my community that are going to do it, and I
Yeah.
think it might be a good decision. I mean, look, we could see a bounce or stay at these levels, for Bitcoin. We could see this level stay here all summer, and other altcoin projects that are solid will just they'll just shoot up.
Yeah.
You could see that very easily happening.
What
But I
about the
can't.
20% incentive? Is
Yeah.
that compelling to you enough to?
Yeah, it's compelling, but see, Jonathan, you know what I'm doing outside of, some of the things that
Yeah.
I'm talking to you about now, and I can't. Where am I going to put my capital, Jonathan? You tell me after seeing what you've seen. I can't not
Yeah, I'm
do
involved
this
in
other thing,
some of these other investments that we speak of that we must not talk about at this
right?
point.
Right.
I
So
know, I
I
know. I'm
I have a
thinking,
hard decision to make. If I didn't have that, yes, this would be
yeah,
where 20% of my entire portfolio,
bro,
not entire, but a lot
and
of it would go.
I'm playing the fact that like what developer, I know every developer talks hype about their project, but when someone like Forex says, "Hey, pigs are going to moon," I'm going to play, I might put more capital in because I'm like, okay, you can only sell 2% of your stake, which takes away a lot of sell pressure. You got all this buy momentum because of the 20%
Yeah.
incentive. Why not ride that wave, even if it's for a short
That's true.
term?
Yeah.
Pigs
And
might just
listen,
moon.
you might play that game, and a lot of people are going to play that game and win.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting this one out. It's just a personal thing. I'm not saying it's bad. I want to be very clear. I think you could probably make some pretty good gains. And it's all bullish. Everything that he's doing, it's all pumponomics. It's all pumponomics. So I think that you could be seeing a nice rally. And I think once that starts, the FOMO begins, whatever. And as long as Bitcoin doesn't tank into like the low
Yeah.
20s, which could happen, you could see that last for the entire summer, maybe even the entire year.
What do you think about Forex delaying the launch even further, waiting for more of a market sentiment tailwind? Do you
Market.
think
I
that's
don't, I
smart,
don't,
or do you think he should just
I,
launch this thing?
I think it's definitely smart. I think it's something that should have happened. That should have been the talk instead of what's happened. What I mean by this is like, what I'm trying to say is that delaying a launch would be smart if this was the first delay,
Yeah. But
or
now
maybe
he can't
second.
afford to. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, you can't. So, and he's
Yeah.
got enough pumponomics, enough bear resistant strategy set up to where I think he's okay. I'm honestly like, I think he's doing it. Can't think of anything else he could do at this point. But what you said earlier, Jonathan, I want to point something out. You mentioned that like this is a little bit more centralized of a feel, and this is called decentralized finance. And you're not wrong. I mean, putting restrictions on anything it becomes more centralized. But I see why he's doing it. It's almost
Right.
like he doesn't have an option not to. You know what I mean?
Because he
He
doesn't
doesn't.
want a mass sell off at launch.
Right. Right. And so it's like he has to do that. But is that bad, good? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, man. But
Yeah.
it's all speculation until it launches. But I've had some hard decisions to make recently, things that I was going to get in on, and I just decided to sit out because of other investment opportunities.
Yeah. Where do you feel like the overall DeFi market is going, given this overall sentiment in stocks, crypto, inflation, war, real estate? Like, do you think DeFi has hope in 2022, like all these
Yeah.
new projects, or is
Oh
it
yeah.
kind of dead?
DeFi is not going to die because it's the people's money. So the difference is, Jonathan, is that, and you know this because you see what I do, but the whales don't care what's happening right now. Real whales do not care what's happening right now. Like they're 5-10 years out anyways. So even the holders, but you asked specifically DeFi, and I'm telling you, the whales don't care because the passive income streams are still there. Even drip as a more riskier asset, that's a bad example. Real whales, typically when I'm talking about millions of dollars being invested into a protocol, they're not going to do it in drip because it's too risky. That is a single asset. You have crazy directional exposure. These guys are playing with delta neutral strategies. They're going over to stable coins, getting 20% on UST on Anchor. They're going over to friction. They're doing investment strategies that are, completely just things that you don't hear about. They're using aperture, they're using synthetic stocks, they're doing all sorts of different types of strategies that don't have any directional exposure.
Yeah. And then they can take those profits and play some of these crazy DeFi plays.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks, Mike, for your perspective. I guess maybe I won't jump off a cliff today. I hope our users don't either. I mean, I had my brother texting me earlier and others in the Telegram, Jonathan, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, this is a day I don't look at my portfolio. It's disgusting. I mean, I'm lying. I look at it, but then I just tell myself like, hey man, in bear markets, this is when, millionaires are made. They buy dips. Like, so when I asked myself in that drive through today, like, is now the time you're going to sell drip? Is now the answer to me is no, I'm not. And my bet is that these are the dark, dark, dark days, and there's only going to be brighter days ahead. So I'm not buying now. I'm clicking the compound button.
Yeah, I have a strategy for
where
that
I'm
too.
at.
For me, I claim 10 days out of the month. I compound the rest,
Okay.
So because I'm up, if I were down, I'd just be compounding. It's not worth it to me to sell at a loss. I'm not going to do that.
And
so if I were
you're
down,
without revealing your drip holdings, like you don't have $20,000 in drip. You've got a lot in drip, right?
right? Yeah, no, it's public.
You
It's
were
out
in
there
you were
already.
in early.
I was in pretty early. Yeah, a lot of people were, but like for me, a lot of people right now are just compounding, every day. They don't take anything. I feel a little bit better claiming some days and compounding the rest. I hate claiming when we're on a decline.
Yeah,
Feels
like
like I'm not contributing to the community, right? But I compounded at all-time highs, man. And those are the times when you should be claiming, by the way. But I
yeah,
did that because I wanted to see it go higher. I was there for the community. I was compounding when we were reaching $150 to $200, all in that range. I didn't
right.
claim like once, I don't think. So yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what about EMP? Like you're one of the top 6 guys that got EMP going.
Yeah.
You're like on the lead team. Are you
Yeah.
dumping your bags into this
No,
dip?
it's all publicly on the blockchain. I'm not dumping. As we pump, I sell a little bit at a time to have dry powder setting on the side
Mm-hmm.
for when we are below peg. Now that doesn't mean you get a bailout, and we're definitely not going to tell you when we buy, but my job as, one of those, we call it the select 6, is to buy EMP back at a discount. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So we all kind of, strategize that together. I can't really go into too much detail, but you will see buys on, with my wallet on the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
And we use eShare too. We tell people all the time, eShare is volatile. So that's what's being sold right now. That's why you saw it go from $3,000 3 days ago to $1,000,
Right.
because it's volatile. And guess what? It can go right back up just as fast. Because when the boardroom prints, people FOMO into eShares.
Right.
But I would just say to everyone that's, scared or, wondering what the deal, you're selling at a loss, whatever. I think that you got to just take a breath, in my opinion, and relax and know that what goes up goes down, what goes down goes up. So we'll get a little sigh of relief here. We'll get some sort of the sell pressure will come off. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's all fun and dandy. We're going back to 68K. I'm just saying that we're going to have a relief, and those relief moments allow us to allow us to be a little bit more confident in these altcoin protocols, the good altcoin protocols that we're already in. And we can buy the dips. We can, we'll feel a little bit more confident in those plays coming up here.
Yeah,
So,
the
yeah.
market's swinging cycles. We're in a clear bear market. You've got anticipation of an overall recession. Who knows if we're in one already? It is what it is. And if I know anything about, I've been trading stocks for years, I've been in crypto for years. It's that these sentiments don't last forever. And I've always looked back at these periods where everyone's just fear, 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 sell, 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 and thought, why didn't I buy more? I get mad at myself. Why didn't I buy more? So again, I'm not going, now's the time to sell. Now's the time to sell, because Forex isn't going anywhere. He's still one of the lead developers in the DeFi space. He's disclosed a bunch of utility that is coming, the things that he's worked on, even a game that he has developed using Drip. None of this stuff has happened yet. So I'm looking at that going, there's so much on the horizon that is going to create catalysts for buying Drip. I'm not selling at $20, but that's me. I'm not telling you you should or shouldn't do whatever you're going to do. And then I look at Animal Farm and I'm like, yeah, what a total crap job this is. Like, anyone with a brain can say this has not gone well. Okay, from beginning to end. Like, who knows what the heck the future is? But I'm looking at that the opposite, going, I don't think it gets worse than the days we are in right now. I think these are the worst things
Right. So you
ever.
buy when there's blood in the streets.
Yeah, so I like the blood because this is time to accumulate. So
Right.
we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but and then EMP, I don't even think about selling that because I love AJ and you and the whole team, and I'm like, you guys have so much plans, utility, what's to come, and I trust the lead team so much that I'm not even worried. Like, I saw the price of E shares, it went from 3,000 to 1,000. I'm like, oh well, I don't care. I wasn't going to sell tomorrow anyway. So
Right.
there'll be new highs, and
Right.
in my opinion, so that's what I'm doing. Texted my brother, I said, bro, I'm ignoring my portfolio, I'm not selling, I didn't sell anything today, and it is what it is. You go take your dog for a walk, which is what I'm going to do here in a second.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's important to recognize cycles. It's important to recognize that eShare is pegged to Ethereum. So, it is a long-term investment. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about, in my opinion, the algo side of our project, not necessarily the high ROI side with the detonator and all that, but you can get into nodes right now, and these are paying, man. This is paying. And so if you're confident that, Ethereum's price is going to go up in the next 4 or 5 years, even sooner, next 2 or 3. I mean, then yeah, you want to be in on, you want to probably get in on, something that's pegged to that, you know what I mean? And so it's up to the community to make sure it's pegged, and that's where the risk comes into play. But I think we've done an excellent job of, educating the community, making sure that everyone understands the risks. And at the end of the day, I mean, I have a lot of friends that have been made in this project, a lot of people that trust us. We're going to only do what's right for this project. So as we start pumping again, which we'll at a certain level, the sell pressure will die off. More YouTube videos will get made. The pumponomics will come back, right? And people will look at it and FOMO in. This is what happens. And then you're going to see eShares go up again. You'll be like, oh man, I remember when it was $1,000, right? And so this is just what happens. It's like, you go look at the Bitcoin chart, just zoom out, go to a 4-hour time frame, zoom out, and tell me the last time we were at 30K. It was actually in January. I believe we dipped down close to it in January. So like, we were taking a look at it, you and I, just before we got on. How nice would it have been to buy right there, right? So could that happen again? Absolutely. Like, there's nothing to say we're going down in the mid 20s right today. So I think best case scenario, we hold anywhere from $28,000 to $35,000 range, and we just range all summer. I think that's best case scenario, honestly. And then, hopefully we don't crash down in the low 20s or mid 20s between now and then, because obviously market sentiment, man. And I want to see all these projects do well. So that would probably hurt pretty bad. But
well, I appreciate, you coming on and us just chatting here, shooting the breeze, giving our perspective on what's going on, hopefully walking people away from the cliff, and just, being just giving transparent answers to the questions and having a good conversation. So thanks for coming on, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No problem.
All right, guys, that's it for this video. Go ahead and like it and subscribe to the channel if you want. Mike's got a channel. Make sure you check it out. That's really it. Hang in there. Join us in Telegram for further conversation. AJ is always doing live AMAs in EMP, so go to their Telegram, and let's hope for a successful launch coming up soon for Animal Farm. And all that is coming up. So like this channel, we got more and more content coming this way this week. We will see you guys in the next one.